Welcome back to KSNT News, everyone. We're joined this morning by April News, who's been here before.
Yeah, if you remember the goat cheese that we did on our very first segment, so we brought April back for something pretty special.
Now, Valentine's Day is coming up. We're thinking about the sweets. Becky, unfortunately, chose to cut out sugar in
Except
the
for
sweet.
today and Valentine's Day.
So, tell us a little bit about this special treat that you brought.
So it's caramel, or sometimes they will call it a caramel sauce, just for the fact you can make it as thick or as thin as you want. You can put it on pancakes, it goes well with fruit, you can put it in your coffee. I mean, it's limitless what you do with it.
And what's so special about this caramel specifically?
So it's made out of goat's milk.
Which, as you may remember, is where why April joined us the first time. And I should also say, maybe you want to introduce your helper.
This is Emily, my daughter. So
her TV debut.
Yes.
So let's talk about, I think some people are probably surprised to know that you can make caramel with goat milk. So, what's the secret? What should people know?
Very easy. It's just time consuming. Make sure you have a few hours.
So it's a labor of love for maybe your sweetheart on Valentine's Day.
So this is basically your ingredients.
Okay, let's talk about
You can add anything you want in there. I mean, you can have it, I've got plain, I have a rum, I have a salted caramel, I added almond. If there's another, flavoring that you like better, you can always add that. So you put everything in there and then you just stir.
Oh, so you literally just dump everything in at the same time?
You put about everything in there, you bring it up to temperature, and then with a little bit of milk and our baking soda here, you add that in, it will bubble up. That's why you need a big pot.
Gotcha.
So it will take a little bit more than what you think as far as when it bubbles up.
It is definitely
and then
a big
you just
pot.
stir and stir and stir. And I found, it's kind of weird, but I use a spatula to really get the bottom well. So, because you want to make sure it's not sticking.
Right.
But just a slow kind of simmer, and it'll turn. This one I didn't go quite as long, so it's more of a sauce, and it's not quite as thick. So,
shall we taste it?
I have tasting spoons right
Oh boy. Which one should we go for? What's this one?
That one's plain.
Oh, plain. I'm going to go for that first. And I'm just going to, since today's a cheat day, I might just drink this whole thing.
Rum.
Yep.
And salt.
That's the salted caramel.
You tried regular?
I'm just imagining this on top of ice cream. You can even taste you put cinnamon in them, all of them.
Cheers.
Cinnamon goes in all of them.
Yeah,
cinnamon
so you can
and
taste
vanilla.
the cinnamon. It's so good.
And I like to use a really good vanilla.
That is amazing.
It is so good. You guys have got to try this. If you're looking for maybe like a dessert idea for Valentine's Day, if you even have ice cream and you just want to put this over this for maybe dessert, oh my gosh. I could drink the whole jar. I really could.
And I use a gallon when I do mine. It's like either go big or go home. The recipe I have calls for just like a quart.
Right.
And so it doesn't take quite as long to do it if you're doing it at a smaller batch. But my thought is if you're doing it, you might as well do a whole gallon of it.
Right. I don't think we disagree with that.
No, we don't. And you've got something exciting coming up, don't you? If you guys remember Angela, she was with us last week, I believe, 2 weeks ago maybe, when we were talking about the eggs. You're going to be doing a class out at Hidden Hill Farms with her on cheese making February 20th. So we'll link to that on our website. We'll definitely put this recipe on there. And
You don't want to miss
continue
this.
to eat caramel.
It's definitely a treat for your loved ones that they'll know you put a lot of effort into, isn't it, with all those hours. But it definitely is worth it. It tastes amazing.
So good.
Well, thanks for joining us, April.
Thank you,
for joining us.
So great.
It's nice to have an extra special guest with us today.
Yes.
Well, stay with us because Becky is tracking